Welcome back, everybody. I really had a lot of fun last week playing around with the water in the cups and experimenting and figuring out how to make different sounds with our cups. And so this week I would like us to go a little bit further. And this week I want us to create a set of sounds and not just have one. If you have the worksheet, you are more than welcome to use the worksheet along with the video, but you don't need to have the worksheet or you don't need to have the video. It's whatever works best for you. But there are some things you are going to need. You're going to need 3 to 5 glass cups. And right here I have 3 glass cups, and on my other side I do have a set of 5 glass cups. And we will be just seeing how that works out in just a second. You are going to need something to tap these cups with, and I would suggest using a wooden spoon, a stick, or a pencil, because you don't want to use anything that's going to break the cups, and plus knives and forks could possibly hurt someone, so we want to make sure nobody gets hurt. You need a waterproof surface. I don't really have a waterproof surface right now, so I'm using dish towels on my tray tables. But you will also, if it's nice outside, you could go outside, and any place outside is going to be waterproof, and any water you spilt will, happily be drinking up by any of the plants or by the grass that is right around you. So what you're going to start with is you're going to take 3 cups or 5 cups or 4 cups. Start with a small amount. You can always use more cups later to create a larger set of sounds. But take your 3 cups and put them right in a row. And what we need to do is we need to make sure that when we are putting water in these cups, that the cups with the most water are on one side and the cup with the least amount of water is on the other side. And so that way we have different levels of water, but they're all in the right order, going from least to greatest. So let's start. I'm going to start right here with this cup, and we're going to put the most amount of water in here. By the way, I do have paper towels just in case I make a mess, and that did happen just while I was experimenting before I put the video on. The second cup, we're going to put less water in, because remember I said I want to have different levels of water. So I have the most, the less, and then in this cup is no water at all. Just a little tiny drop, and now it's completely empty. So we have our cups in order, and this should, it might not, but it should make it so that we have the lowest sound getting a little bit higher with the highest sound on this side. And if you remember from last week, we discovered that any of the cups that have the most water is going to have the lowest sound, and the cups with the least amount of water have the highest sound. And I asked you to think about why that is happening, and if you ever want to share any of that with somebody, it's very interesting things to talk about. So let's find out what we got here. And there goes my paper towels. And I actually have a pretty neat scale. I like this. If you notice that each of my cups go the lowest sound, a little bit higher, and the highest. And we can change that. I'm only going to do it with this cup right here. I'm going to pour some of my water back into my measuring cup, but I don't want to pour it all out, and I want to make sure that these 2 cups are still in the right order, and these 2 cups are still in the right order, and I do have it, so this cup is the most, and this one's the least, so that's good. By changing the amount of water in a cup, you change the sound of your set of sounds. Yep, so I did get a different sound, a different set of sounds there, and there's all kinds of ways that you can do this. What I need you to do next, because once you find a set of sounds that you really like, I want you to save that for next week. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to take a measuring cup, and you're going to pour all your water into that measuring cup, and you're going to find out how much water is in that cup. So let's see here. This is about 1.5 cups of water, and I'm going to take that and I'm going to write it down. And if you're using the worksheet, you're going to see that there are some cups at the bottom of the worksheet, and you can put in there how much water you had in your cups. So on my worksheet, I'm going to write down that I have 1.5 cups. So next week, when I am ready to set up my set of musical sounds, I'm going to take my water and fill it right back up. And that way I'm going to be really close to having the same sounds that I had this week. Next week, I will have those same sounds. Let's find out how much was in this cup. Let's see here. Oh, cool. So this one has about 1 cup of water in it, and I'm going to make sure that I write that down either on a piece of paper or I'm going to write it down on the cups at the bottom of that worksheet. I'm going to pour the water back in this cup. And this last cup is pretty easy because it has no water in it at all. So that one's pretty easy. I'm still going to write no water either on that cup at the bottom of the worksheet or I'm going to write it on a piece of paper. Please save that information for next week, because if you come up with a set of sounds you really like, then you're going to want to use them to write music with. We're going to turn over here now. And over here, I have 5 cups that I've already set up. And as you can see, I have the least amount of water. It gets a little bit more. And these 2 cups, it's going to be really hard to see unless I come up close, is that there is this one has the most water. This one only has just a little tiny bit of water less. And that's really important to notice, because as you see, I still have them in the correct order from least to greatest. And if I was going to play them, I don't like the sound of these cups as much, but I wanted to use all the same cups. But we're going to see how this works. Let's find out. So hopefully you could hear how the pitch, we talked about pitch last week, the how the sound changes from high to low. I hope you heard that the pitch changed as the amount of water changed. Again, I could change how this sounds. I'm going to take this one right here. I'm going to leave out a little bit of water, and let's see what happens. So yeah, by taking out that water, these 2 kind of have the same sound. So I could always play around with that. These set of sounds right here, you could call a scale. A scale is a series of musical tones ascending or descending in order of pitch. And that's what I have here, a group of musical sounds that ascend from lowest to highest. So we now have 2 music terms that we've talked about. We've talked about pitch and we've talked about scales. And scales are what help us write songs or write melodies. So right here I'm going to play a very familiar song for you real quick, and then I will say goodbye, and then you can get ready for the next video for the next week. So here we go. Well, let's try that again. Finally, once you have your set of sounds and you like it, make up a song. Have fun with it. You don't have to write it down right now. Just make it up. Fool around with it and see what kind of songs you can make. And time to think. Take a measuring cup and find out how much water is in each glass. Anyways, we already talked about that, and I hope you have a lot of fun with experimenting with scales, with sets of sounds, and with creating your own music. Have a great week.